Welcome to LunarWave. Join our adventure club with a quick subscribe.
Welcome back to Port Cache, where fog clings to the streets like old stories, and every corner holds a whisper of the past. You're listening to LunarWave, bedtime mystery stories for curious minds. In tonight's episode, the story from the woods refuses to let go, and Shelby, Alice, and Blake head to the one place where secrets tend to hide in plain sight, the town library. Let's begin. It was a slow, quiet morning in Port Cache, the kind of morning where even the gulls seemed to glide more slowly and the mist refused to burn off. Backpacks half unpacked, socks still smelling faintly of campfire smoke, Shelby sat on the porch steps with a notepad in her lap and Alice beside her, flipping a pencil between her fingers.
Brave kids, ride through the forest, heard before seen, not seen by grown-ups.
You forgot possibly horse-shaped, but possibly not.
Shelby smiling slightly.
Right, possibly horse-shaped, possibly magic possums in disguise.
They sat in silence a moment longer, the only sound the low hum of a distant lawn mower and Blake's shoes squeaking up the driveway. Blake, slightly out of breath.
I've been thinking about the story. What if we look into it, like actually research it?
Alice perking up.
Library?
Shelby standing.
Library.
The Port Cache library sat on a small hill near the center of town, surrounded by salt-stained brick and a courtyard of stubborn ivy. It wasn't big, but it felt big, like every book inside had been waiting a long time for someone to remember it. The trio stepped inside, the door chime ringing softly above them. Behind the front desk stood Ms. Stone, tall and serious, with her gray hair pulled into a braid so tight it might as well have been stitched. She looked up from her computer, one eyebrow already raised.
Shelby. Alice. Blake. Back so soon?
Shelby, politely.
We're looking for old local stories, the kind that might not be on the internet.
Ms. Stone, peering over her glasses.
Most of the good ones aren't.
She studied them for a moment, as if deciding whether they were worth the trouble. Then, with a curt nod, she stood and walked around the desk. Ms. Stone, leading the way.
Third floor. Far left section. Rural folklore. Childhood accounts. You'll know it by the dust.
Alice, as they climbed the stairs.
She's secretly awesome.
Blake, whispering.
I think she can hear through walls.
The third floor smelled like paper and time. It was colder than the rest of the library, and the windows were fogged over, despite the warm light inside. Rows of aging books lined the walls, and at the far end stood a section labeled simply, Local Accounts, Unverified. Shelby running a hand along the spines.
Here we go.
They split up and started browsing. Alice scanned titles, muttering them under her breath.
Echoes of the Coast. Sleepy Ridge Myths. Ooh, Whispers Beneath the Pines. That's gotta be something.
Blake, sitting cross-legged on the floor with a thin yellow journal.
This one talks about sightings in the 1960s. Children reported hearing hoofbeats in the night. Some claimed they awoke further from their camps than where they fell asleep.
Shelby, looking up.
That matches what your uncle said.
Alice, from another shelf.
Here, this one has names. Listen to this. The final known encounter, if true, involved a boy known locally as Coyote Jack, said to be the most daring of the children.
They paused. The name stuck in the air like fog on skin. Blake, softly.
Coyote Jack.
Shelby, already thinking ahead.
If he was the last to see them, maybe he knows why they disappeared.
Alice, reading further.
Says he lived on the northern outskirts, taught himself how to track animals, built his own shelter. Some said he could whisper to coyotes.
Blake, grinning.
Okay, that's either the coolest guy ever or completely made up.
Shelby, eyes narrowing with purpose.
Let's find out which.
They checked out a few books and left the library just as the fog began thickening around the trees again. But something was different now. They had a name, a place to start. Behind them, Ms. Stone watched quietly from the third-floor landing, her expression unreadable. And when she turned back to the shadows of the library, her footsteps echoed softly, as if they weren't the only ones walking. Tonight, the kids of Port Cache uncovered more than just dusty books. They found a clue, one that leads to the mysterious figure known as Coyote Jack. Who was he, and why did the night runners choose him last? In the next episode, they leave the comfort of town to search for the boy who may no longer be a boy at all. For now, snuggle up, imagine rows of old books and stories waiting to be opened, and drift off to dreams of bravery. Good night, Port Cache.
Love this mystery? Like and subscribe to LunarWave for more adventures under the stars.